What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorldPodcast, and we're going to be jumping into the NFL 2019 season opener. It was the Bears versus the Packers, and I'm going to tell you this right now, it was not as expected. I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the pointers. Now, if you guys have been listening to my podcast over the last couple of years, you would know that I really think that Trubisky has enough to get those Bears to where they're supposed to be. Obviously, it did not go as planned for the Bears last night, but we're going to go into a couple things, including the Coach Nagy's, play calling that kind of, it doesn't really make any sense, not running the ball in certain situations, trying to make it seem like he wanted Trubisky to be Aaron Rodgers, if that makes any sense. Like, you don't want to overdo it. It's sort of like Dak Prescott with Ezekiel Elliott. There's a reason why Jerry Jones paid Ezekiel Elliott. You want to get the run game involved. I'm not saying that Trubisky can't throw the ball. I just don't want him throwing it that much. And I know a lot of Bear fans would agree. You know, he can get you out of certain situations, but he can also put you into a lot of dire situations as well, as we were able to see last night. So look, let's talk about a few things. The one thing that I want to talk about first is that the Packers defense has really, really been revamped. Okay, it's been, in my opinion, a lot better. I think that right now with Aaron Rodgers, it's a lot more pressure. When you look at the NFC North, there's a lot more pressure on the Packers than it is the Bears. Now, some of you guys might say, but the Bears defense is this, they're supposed to be doing this, whatever. Aaron Rodgers hasn't done anything for a very, very long time. So, in my opinion, I felt the Packers would win this game just because of that, but I didn't think they would win in the fashion in which they did. Because Aaron Rodgers came out kind of, I guess he should have played in the preseason type of way. Like, what are you doing? Are you trying to get reps? Like, what's going on? It was a joke, in my opinion, when we look at, like, vintage Aaron Rodgers. I think he was trying to get his reps in, trying to get back into that speed, get the game flowing. That's another thing. Like, I don't really understand why these players don't take advantage of at least one preseason game. Because you hear all these commentators talk about it all the time. The speed of the game is different. The speed of the game is different. For all of us that have played sports in our lives, like myself, we understand. You can run around on a treadmill. You can run around and, do drills. But until you get to that game speed, it's nothing like it, bro. Like, it's a completely different thing. And I don't think that he looked as good. Aaron Rodgers did not look as good in the first quarter. Second quarter, he came out, made some throws, looked really good. Second quarter, the game itself was rather pedestrian, so it's just certain key points that I want to talk about, and I'm going to focus on the most important positions for both teams, the quarterbacks, okay? When you look at what Trubisky did last night, you want to forget it immediately. Like, you just don't want to ever believe that it actually happened. And I understand, but I'm not ready to give up on Trubisky yet, because I know that he can play better. It's just the fact that it's a lot of pressure. And remember, still very, very young. And again, with the excuses, I don't do excuses. It's just the fact that something was really off. Tramon Williams was running off at the mouth at the end of the game. Like, it's a lot of weird stuff that was happening, but that's not the way that guy plays. And something, like, you can say that he's trash. Like, a lot of you guys, I saw Twitter going crazy on Trubisky. But again, I think that he's good enough. I'm not saying the dude is Dan Marino, but I think he's good enough to get the Bears to where they need to be. Khalil Mack and these guys, they played very well. You got to understand, very, very low-scoring game, which kind of shows that defense is, a lot of people say, oh, bro, it's become a passing league. You can't do anything. There was a lot of hard hitting. There was a lot of, trash talk. There was a lot of vintage type of, old school NFL stuff with defense win championships type thing, and running the football, good defense. And that's where we get back to the Bears. Why are you not running the football, Coach Nagy? What are you doing right now? Like, listen, this is the thing that I don't understand about head coaches, right? If you're not Bill Belichick, in my opinion, you can't have an ego. Let me explain, or Vince Lombardi, or, it's only certain coaches that you give a pass that they can have an ego. You didn't win anything, right? So you can't come in and act like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't act like you're making a player be better than he actually is. You got to come out, you got to have a game plan that's going to help that young quarterback be able to make plays. I didn't see that last night. I was very disappointed in the Bears with their play calling. I did not like it. Granted, he overthrew a lot of balls. He threw balls in the middle of the field right to the grass when we're talking about Trubisky. But again, I don't think he should be in that position. You got to treat him like a Dak Prescott, bro. Like, you got to set up the run game. You got to have other things that can contribute to his well-being and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too much stuff that I don't understand what these guys are doing. What are they trying to do? What are you trying to prove? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you really trying to do? I don't understand exactly what you're supposed to do in these situations when your coach is putting you out there in the first game of the season to throw the ball 1,000 times. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So I just, like I said, I'm very, very shocked at the outcome of the game, simply because I expected a lot more from Aaron Rodgers, even though he kind of had a little bit of, zip, zip, zip going here and there, whatever. I expected a lot more from him. In the future, he and LaFleur, like, that's going to be the interesting thing, because the Packer fans, that's actually a question that was asked to me via Twitter. Like, what do you think's going to happen with this whole Aaron Rodgers, LaFleur? Like, I don't really think that Aaron Rodgers respects his head coach, but I still do believe that in certain cases, you have to be able to coach a player that still doesn't respect you. That's where I have the issue, because I don't know how it's going to translate. Now, granted, Aaron Rodgers said from his own mouth, we got a defense. He was very, very excited about that. Will that change the aspect of him? Okay, will that make him be more, understanding to what the coach is trying to do, to what the coach is trying to teach? It's possible. But again, looking at it right now, I'm going to pass it off as, it's the first game of the season. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'm going to pass it off as it was the first game of the season. So many different points in the game, it made me feel like this is like it's like, what is it, an appetizer for the full course of the NFL, because we've been so hungry for it and we've wanted it. So no matter what they put out there, we were going to be excited about it, but I couldn't get myself excited about the game. Like, once it started, like, I was like, yeah, and then it started, I'm like, what are they doing? What, are they serious? Like, who is playing right now? But remember, there's so many games. Like, on Sunday, I'm probably going to be a little bit more rejuvenated, because I'm going to have so many games that I'm watching simultaneously, and it's going to be so much more action. But you got to also remember, this rivalry right here, it's always going to be sort of like this. You remember last year with that Randall Cobb, who's now with the Dallas Cowboys? Remember how the game ended? Khalil Mack was chasing him down. He scored at the end to win the game. These games are always going to be nip-tuck. So you kind of expect it, but it was very, very poor play early on for Aaron Rodgers, and then throughout the entire game for Trubisky. Now, going forward, what do I expect from them? Okay, what do I expect from both teams? Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and break this down for you, right? The Packers have to make the playoffs, and Aaron Rodgers has to make a run with his defense. Many people argue that all this time that he's been playing, he's never had a defense. I don't agree with that, completely, because I think that the defense was, actually, you got to look at the numbers and see that the defense was giving up ridiculous amounts of points. But I think that Aaron Rodgers kind of underachieved over the last couple of years, in my honest opinion. I don't know how you Packer fans feel. I think he could have done more. Granted, he was hurt. There was things going on, but if you're hurt and you go out there and play, people are not going to give you any kind of, leeway with that. You're still out there in the field. I believe that they have to make a run this year. And even though everybody is high on the Kansas City Chiefs, they have all their weapons, everything, blah, blah, blah. In the NFC, this team has to make a run. And that's what's crazy about this whole situation, because you still got the Vikings. You got a lot of people that, Kirk Cousins is probably going to be playing the way Trubisky played last night. I'm just being honest about it. I can't wait to see him play. You know what I'm saying? I got to, because that dude right there, even though he started that whole guaranteed money market thing, like, that dude, I don't know, man. I got to see. Maybe Kirk Cousins will show me something different, but that's what I envision for him, the way Trubisky played. Now, that's what I feel for the Packers. They have to make a run. I feel that that's necessary for Aaron Rodgers. Fast forward to the Bears. This can't happen anymore. This, run game has to be installed. This kind of situation cannot happen anymore. You cannot force Trubisky to throw the ball all game long, because it's not going to work out. And it's maybe later in his career, he might fast forward and become a dot thrower and everything might be good. But after what I watched last night, I am not convinced that he's ready to be catapulted to that level, in my opinion. Again, that's just me looking at it. I don't know if you guys are going to say, bro, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's just my opinion. I don't think he's ready to take the reins and just be a passer like that. I think they have to incorporate the run. And I believe also with them, it's going to be very, very tough, but they also have to make the playoffs with all the money that they've spent on defense. I want to thank everybody for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at GmiasWorld, Facebook and Instagram, all at GmiasWorld. Be sure to subscribe. Click that notification to know when I go release another video. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. You enjoy your day. One love, y'all.